Are you tired of always looking for the right definition for your tarot cards? Are you tired of searching for the right book that's going to finally give you the answer that you're looking for? Hi, my name is Amethyst Mahoney, and you can find me at www.amethystmahoney.com or www.amethysttarot.com. And I'm here today to give you a quick 10 or 15 minute video on how to start reading the cards today, right now, without books or definitions. So I'm actually going to show you an exercise that I've led several hundred people all throughout the world in the last 2 years, and I've taught them how to use this technique so that they can find the tarot card answers that are in them and not just try to memorize something from a book. Now, I know most people, when they first get cards, try to sit there and memorize 78 definitions, and then if you also read reversals, they try to remember 78 more. And memorizing them is just horrible. And the truth is, no book and no little white book or anything that anyone tells you is going to be the right definition. The truth is, every single tarot card can have a different definition every single time you read it. So let me tell you exactly how to get connected to the cards right now in this video. So this is the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. This was my go-to deck for about 7.5 years. I didn't use it for a year or so, and I've actually come back to it lately. So I really highly recommend this deck or anything by Ciro. It's C-I-R-O. You can find him on the internet or at Tarotholics Anonymous. So this is how you read a card. You turn it over and you say the name of the card. So I would say, I got the Eight of Cups, or I drew the Eight of Cups, or this is the Eight of Cups, however you want to say that. It doesn't matter exactly how you say it, but you want to name the card because that starts you talking. The problem is when many people start reading is that they just look at the card and go, I don't know what to say. And you start overthinking it and get really confused, and then it turns into a mess. So this is just to help establish the groundwork of what you got and get you actually speaking. And I recommend that you do this out loud. You can even practice with a friend or a spouse or a family member, or if you don't have anyone around, tell your dog about it or your cats, okay? But the important thing is to start talking out loud. So I would say, I drew the Eight of Cups. And then you just start describing anything in the card that's actually physically there. Like you have a movie camera and you're looking at it. What do you see? Now during that description, if any other thoughts or feelings come up for you, you can go ahead and talk about those and see where it leads you. Sometimes you may feel like you want to tell a story about the card, or sometimes you may want to tell what the person on the card is doing. At other times you just want to do a physical description, and you might kind of struggle with it at first, but I promise if you stick with this, you will be able to read the cards right away. So I would say this is the Eight of Cups. There is what looks like a man in the card. He's wearing a purplish cloak kind of thing over his little short troubadour outfit. He's got a blue hat on with some feathers. There's a giant full moon behind him, and he's carrying a walking stick. And behind him, there's some cups laying down on the ground. And some of them are overturned, and some of them are still upright. But the important thing is he has his back to them, and it looks like he's walking away from them. Now, there's your definition right there. You've actually talked yourself into it. There are some cups sitting here, and it looks like this person is walking away from them. So at that point, you might want to ask yourself, what are you either turning your back on in your life that may or may not be important, determining, what kind of circumstances are around you right now? Or what are you walking away from, or what are you walking towards in the future? However you think of phrasing that question is really going to get at the crux of what's going on in your life and what that tarot card meaning has for you at that particular moment in your life. Now, this card has come up for me many times over the years. Sometimes when I was about to move across the country, this came up for me, the Eight of Cups, and it was because I was leaving behind my old way of life, and I was very, very excited about that. Then there's been other times that I felt like friendships had fallen apart, and I had to turn my back on circumstances that were really difficult. but it was still the same Eight of Cups card. It didn't, it wasn't reversed one time and upright the other. You can read reversals, which means they're upside down. Some people do not, because the meaning of the card is in the card, whether it's upright or reversed. I happen to go back and forth. Sometimes I read reversals, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on what my feeling is that day. If you're just beginning and you're not sure what you want to do, just try reading them upright for a while, and then maybe in 3 or 6 months, see if any come up reversed. If you want to try reading them that way, it's all good. There's no right way or wrong way to do tarot. So let's try another card, okay? I'll turn this over. Okay, so I got the Star. Now this is what's called a Major Arcana card. And you'll notice at the top of this one it has some Roman numerals. It's XVII, which is 17. So you can say that if you like. I got 17, the Star. And then I would just start describing what's on the card. So there's a woman pouring 2 pitchers into what looks like the ocean. And there's a lot of blue in this card. And today I feel like blue is maybe a little bit sad. So maybe she's pouring these things out of her cups and she's lost something. The things are flowing away from her and she doesn't feel like she can, get whatever it is that she needs. And so that's just how I feel today. Now, if you look up in the Little White Book or in any other great tarot book about the actual definition of the card, you'll see that the Star is usually a happy card, and it's a really good one about, being a shining star and standing in your power and those kinds of things. So definitely those types of definitions can come up as well. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever the card makes you feel in that moment. It's like a really great work of art. Sometimes when you look at a work of art, it's going to evoke certain feelings in you, and at different points in your life it will evoke entirely different feelings. It's the same thing with tarot. That's why these cards are so fabulous. So let's do one more really quickly. So, turn over your card and say, I drew the 8 of Pentacles. And in this card, there's a person who may be a boy or a girl, I'm not really sure, but they're bent over a desk and they're looking at one of these discs or pentacles, and they're studying it really, really hard, and they're very intense. And in fact, they've been studying so much that the lights are going down, the sun is setting, they're still up late at night by candlelight, still working, still trying to improve themselves. And so for me, for this card, I would say that this person is still studying. Maybe they're going back to school, maybe they are improving their craft, whatever it is that they do in their work. Any of those kinds of feelings or circumstances that are happening in your life. Remember, when you say something about the card, then ask yourself, so how does that apply to my life? If I said, this person is studying something very intensely and it's getting late at night, how does that happen in your life? How is that showing itself? How is that manifesting in your own life? And do you feel like that's good or maybe not so good? Maybe you're spending too much time studying and you're neglecting family and friends. So it's another aspect that you can look at. So that is how you start reading your deck in less than 15 minutes. And go ahead and grab your deck and lay out some cards and just pick one and start talking yourself through it and start reading your tarot today. If you want to know how to do some great spreads and some great first exercises with your cards, go over to www.amethysttarot.com. It's AMETHYSTTAROT.com, and pick up your free beginner's guide. You'll also get a couple of basic spreads so that you can start reading your tarot cards today. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. My name is Amethyst Mahoney. Goodbye.